Yeah, except for Katt Williams. That's
where he ran away to.
I guess he moved at 13.
What do you guys think about it? You believe in this?
I believe like a lot of it. Like
Percentage me.
The hard evidence, he did go to Florida. That was probably in the 80s or 90s, right? Mm-hmm. 2,500. I don't know where he got that. Maybe because he said he started doing stand up.
He was shoveling.
Early.
He said
he was
shoveling
doing snow.
Well, he said he was doing all sorts
said.
of things. Probably not just shoveling snow.
Yeah, you're right.
That's a lot of money back in the day. You could. That's like 6 months of rent
for a kid.
Yeah,
like that's a lot of money for a kid. But hey.
All right, let's get a better. So he is 71, 81, 91, 20, 20. He's 52.
Dang, that was good math.
Yeah, so
strong.
So 52.
Strong math boy.
So we're saying
in the 80s, early 80s.
We're saying 39 years ago.
No. In the early 80s, like 80.
So how far?
Oh shit, like 85.
Oh, so like year after I was born.
Yeah. So basically, when we were born, he was a 13-year-old with 2,500 in his pocket who hopped in the back
and a Rottweiler puppy
and a Rottweiler,
and he hopped in the back.
He hopped on the back of an 18-wheeler. Because one person said they were going to California,
and
but
one person
was going to Florida and took the shorter route.
But that's kind of believable for back then, though.
But also, he picked two warm places. I get it.
Hitchhiking, that's more believable way back then.
I like it, though, how in it, Shannon Sharp was like, "So you hitchhike?" He said, "No."
So then how'd you
what
get
do you
there?
call it?
He overheard. Well, technically, hitchhiking is you stick out the thumb.
Yeah.
So he was.
He left a lot of bubbles.
He was
though.
perusing.
He didn't say
the
too much
at
of
a
what he
truck stop.
did in Florida. You don't you know what I mean? He's just said that he moved again to like Oakland. He left out a lot about if he was pimping or not.
Yeah, and he definitely
because that was when he was supposedly on drugs in the Oakland times.
Well, he definitely acted like he had never done anything besides nicotine.
And alcohol
and weed.
Yeah.
And he doesn't. He's not.
Drug, though,
and he's not an alcoholic. He's a connoisseur. Yeah. But some of the things he did say,
believable.
I was like, all right,
believable.
Yeah.
What did he say? You have an unnatural allegiance to losers, and it's unbecoming of you.
That was so funny. That was so funny. He took a sip. Yeah, he took his little sip. He said,
You have unnatural allegiance to losers.
It's unbecoming. No,
I mean, that was a lot of shade thrown out. Cedric, Ricky Smiley, Steve. I mean,
but he hit up like all old people that I feel like are washes anyway. Like,
because
Kings of Comedy.
at the end he shouted out like all the up and comers. Like he even shouted out Desi Banks. He shouted out like a bunch of dudes. So I don't know. I
did realize though, like a lot of it, he was talking about BET, like early BET, and
Comic View.
Yeah, and I was like, I know nothing about that.
Comic View.
Yeah, I used to watch it. I didn't know what was funny. Like that's when like we were talking like Sinbad and stuff was on there, and like I didn't think a lot of like comics in general in the 90s were funny because I didn't know shit. Like I wasn't.
But in his defense, he does have a classic stand-up.
Yeah, two.
He has a lot.
I would say
like first 100%
the purple suit and the green suit.
The green suit.
Yeah.
Classics.
Yeah, classic.
Like 100%.
I would say it's one of the
that shit's called Def.
I would say Kevin Hart has what? I would say one classic.
I don't know. I think two classics.
Two.
Another one that's like
kind of
It's funny, and then like after that, they're not
good.
very funny. But
what do we think about Chappelle? How many classics he has?
One.
Killing him softly.
One.
Sprinkle some Coke on him.
100% classic. One of the best stand-ups.
That's a classic.
I would put it up with George Carlin. I'd put it up with like
Eddie Murphy.
Yeah. Like I'd put
that was a stand-up.
That was a like through and through.
Well, yeah, you can't deny that he's like a great stand-up comedian in general. Because like I know he's talking about a number of specials, but he had you can't doubt his credentials. He has been touring forever.
Yeah.
That's what I think he allows him to say what he feels.
Yeah, because he's like they're not doing anything anymore. They have TV shows,
and that is true. Like he does, like he has been on the road. He stays on the road.
Been there.
So as far as a comic, I get where his disdain could be coming from when he's talking about stuff like that. But I also can see the other side to where it's like
Well, I mean, because they were saying he was a little like blackballed and stuff, like, and I could see that because he was standing on his morals because he didn't want to do like little dog and pony show. Didn't want to play this like characters that he thought portrayed black people in an undesirable light. Like in talking about Next Friday, a good chunk of the interview was like discussing a lot of
that was
stuff
crazy too. I didn't know he came up with all the lines for Money Mike.
I could see why specifically comedians in movies would want to write all their lines. Though. Of course, like why would you? That's your shtick. That's your thing. Like why would you want somebody else?
But then that gives him more legs to stand on. 100%. Because
yeah,
it's just like even when he was going on about Faison Love, like he's dope, but I don't know one of his jokes.
I know of.
That's what I'm saying. We've all seen him in mad TV shows or movies. He's been like, I don't know one joke.
But like every single name that Katt Williams mentioned, to me, our old Wash had.
Well, that's his. He's around there.
Yeah. So I get it. But like Katt Williams, Dave Chappelle, older like comedians,
Steve, Cedric.
No. But I'm just saying, like, in terms of people who I would say are still out there,
doing it,
understood as comedians. I don't. Like, do people think Steve Harvey is a comedian?
I would assume
he's a TV host now. He's a game show host.
I would say he's like, and same thing with Cedric. I'm like, are you a? I don't see your name being passed around like.
But that's what he's referring as. He's like, they're not
comedians anymore.
Yeah, they're not comedians like that, and that's where he's coming from. With that, I kind of because Steve Harvey to me, he never was funny. Cedric kind of either.
Like I would watch Steve Harvey show, but like
Bernie Mac was hilarious.
Yes, Bernie was hilarious.
Yeah, R.I.P. Bernie. He was like
hilarious,
and also he was the one who
Patrice
went to
O'Neal, hilarious.
Patrice O'Neal's still funny. He's hilarious still.
Hilarious,
and he's still doing stand up, still doing the
I thought
rounds.
Patrice O'Neal died.
Oh wait, did he? No.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking somebody else.
Yeah, Patrice O'Neal died.
Yeah, that was like a few years ago, right? Yeah, I know.
Kind of recently, yeah. No, but yeah, there are funnies that are comedians, but like Steve Harvey, Cedric, I don't even think they're funny. Like,
I was like, he shouted out Earthquake.
And
I was like, I gotta see
funny,
but he's like an old school dude. He's
old school, but it's true. Like some people do get that, like because Earthquake had that shot, but he wasn't able to translate it. You know what I mean?
Do you think the whole piece about doing, like actors dressing up as women, taking women roles, or being gay was a thing? Like, do you believe that like you gotta take that role and then like you're given something, but like you're demeaning yourself? I felt like that's what he was trying to say.
He's said that many a times, and I see, and I kind of do believe his sentiment with that, because it's kind of like we're talking about with Epstein. It's like we know they're doing this stuff, but we don't know that they're doing these kind of things. And I can't put it past these people to be like, okay, you just got to degrade yourself to get big a little bit.
Yeah, but like
they were doing the same thing at like Bohemian Grove.
Yeah, no, but the dude that we were talking about, I can't believe I'm forgetting the most successful black actor.
Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry, yeah. Like
he's like he can't play.
I'm like he can't play a man's role.
He hasn't though. That's his whole thing.
But like it was feel like he was trying to put him down in a sense. I'm like,
well, he kind of is. He's like, you're writing your parts.
Yeah,
you're directing your parts.
These are your movies, but you're always putting yourself as
your parts.
Yeah.
Never once did you ever want to just be a man.
Well, also like,
and that's what he's saying. Like, you are a man. Did you never want to be a man? Like,
I always thought that was part of the comedy. I felt like that was part of the shtick. It's like ha ha ha.
But Tyler Perry's not a comedian.
No, but isn't like Big Mama's House like funny?
Big Mama's House is Martin Lawrence.
Oh, my bad.
Tyler Perry does Medea.
Medea. Sorry, thank you. But isn't it same? I mean,
he's not a comedian though.
But isn't it comedy?
It's kind of it is
comedic, but he's not a comedian.
But wouldn't it? But I'm saying if it was a like.
Why couldn't he just write him as a grandfather? Why does he have...
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah, like he's inserting himself in these roles. Like
he's writing it, directing it, shooting it, and never once has he put himself as he just dresses in the world.
Well, also kind of to further Katt's points, like
you know, that's where he's coming from. It's like, why can't you?
Well, if
representation is such a big thing, why can't you positively represent what it is to be a powerful black man?
Well, also like a common criticism of Tyler Perry's movies is like a lot of the characters just rely on old
Slapstick,
tropes.
yeah.
Also old
what I
tropes
thought
of
about
like
it.
angry black woman, vengeful against her partner that wronged her. The men
it
and it just relies on it. But it like I guess
It's funny. It's salacious. You know, you get a good laugh if you're not doing nothing.
but it is a bit tired. And it's
felt
not
like
doing anything.
super
Like you have the
tired.
power to like.
And I think
I've never
that's
seen
where
one.
I believe the Katt Williams, what he's talking about, is like, yeah, no, it kind of is like, yeah, why don't you just not wear a dress?
I mean, yeah.
I feel too like in respect to Martin Lawrence, the Big Mama's House, that was an era, but maybe that's the only thing. It's like, oh, you need to come up with
But
this.
he had already
really...
previously did that. He
Yeah,
was
exactly.
Shaniqua on the Martin Show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's like one of his characters. He had like quite a few characters.
Again, that he wrote.
What about
Yeah.
Eddie?
I don't think Eddie Griffin ever.
No, Murphy.
Yeah,
The Clumps.
I think he did address.
He did.
Well, he
Clumps.
did like
all the whole
he
family.
Did everything.
and he wrote it.
But that's why Dave Chappelle and Katt Williams, when they say that one specific thing and they're on it together, they feel the same about this.
Yeah.
That's why Dave said he was like kind of basically walked away. He's like, they wanted me to do some stuff that I felt was
like
like
a song and dance.
it's not funny. It's more demeaning.
Okay.
So it's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I
yeah.
can be funny. I'm a comedian.
Yeah.
kind of like
know what
minstrelly.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that's their whole
dance.
thing because they actually take the thing of comedy very serious. It seems like at least those two.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kevin Hart seems like he's got other shit going on.
He's got Fabletics.
I suppose. I mean, Kevin Hart did, I will say, he turned down being in Tropic Thunder because the character was gay and he didn't want to. So.
He said, but he's also worn a dress on SNL.
But see, like, that to me is not like, there's a. Do we want to count, like, all of the times, like, guys have, like, dressed up?
But
on SNL?
what was funny about the bit to where they made him act like he's a 9-year-old black girl that's the first pope?
That's a skit.
That was
a skit?
Yes, it's Kevin Hart in a dress, and he comes out like everyone else is in their bishop shit, like Keenan, all in their bishops, and then he comes out as the Pope, but he's the first female but 9-year-old child and black Pope. This was like the bit, and he's
They're
up
not
there
all
like
funny.
he's like
They don't all hit.
So like,
that's kind of his
basically,
thing,
It
too.
is.
the idea is, like, the writing,
you're
is
funnier than
demeaning.
it. That's all it is.
and so whoever's at the top is demeaning black men.
It's not like they're writing themselves. Well, Tyler Perry's writing himself in
Yeah,
these
yeah, yeah,
situations.
yeah,
But
yeah.
the other people, they're given, and that's what Dave Chappelle said too. He said in a movie they offered, or he was in, they told him, hey, it'd be great if you wore a dress for this scene, you know, blah, blah, blah. I want, you know, and he's like, no, we're not doing that. He said, the director then came out, then some producers came out, and he said finally, after they got the idea that he's
wasn't gonna
not
do
going to
it.
do it, he said, okay. And he came back to me in 5 minutes with the whole new scene. And he's like, how the fuck you have a whole scene written out unless you already had this scene and just we're trying to
Just
get
Trying to like
case.
see what I would do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, because if you look at it too,
and he's only looking at his greats and he's like, well, if all the guys I've looked up to had to do this, why?
I mean, if you look at the white peers, you'd say there's no. I would say there's barely any exceptions. Like Will Ferrell's and like whoever, they don't really have to do that same thing to get like.
The Adam Sandler.
And you know, those guys are all capable of making very shitty movies. But they're not. They get to do like some
whatever
silly shit.
Yeah, it's like,
but not necessarily degrading or demeaning.
and that was the Cat one. They wanted him to play like what? Someone that got he was supposed, or he said Ricky said he was supposed to be the Santa Claus in Friday
like
After
he
Next.
was,
He was supposed to get
a-
like
a
raped
drug addict.
in some scene.
Yeah.
and he's like, I ain't doing that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I believe.
I
some of
thought,
what
I thought
he
it was
says.
it was
Yeah,
it was both funny and like it was thought provoking as well.
very much so, and I think
'Cause
that's
even if it was a comedic lens, it's like, oh, you got to look. If you look at it a little deeper, it's
and I think that's what
really
he's still
interesting
serving. He's a good storyteller. I think he still has some funny in him. I don't
Do you-
think he's washed.
Do you think it's different for an actor to dress up as a woman than a comedian to dress up as a woman?
well because they're still actors in their roles. But I guess too.
What about Miss Doubtfire?
Okay, yeah,
It's
because
really
Robin
no
is a
difference.
comedian.
It's like no, it's and that's
Because it's one of his biggest, most everyone loves
and
that.
A lot of people say
movie.
that it's almost no difference. Like you have to do this public humiliation to get on, And it just coincides. It seems like a lot of these people, when they do these things, they pivot and get bigger.
Well, too, with Miss Doubtfire, that's kind of like the plot device. The script is written around this, but like I think the roles he's saying, it's like that doesn't advance the plot. It doesn't enrich
or
the
like
character. It's
White
just
Chicks
like
from the Wayans brothers. That seemed like that really propelled them into
yeah.
just normal America. People know who the Wayans brothers are, or at least Sean and Marlon. Before that, they were very much so an urban thing. When White Chicks came out,
yeah.
And what are they doing this whole movie?
Damn, there's a lot of dudes
wearing dresses.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking at. There's a
lot of people have done it. Yeah.
I mean, it is different. Like, say, to Wong Fu or like the Birdcage or
that's why
whatever. That's
that
like
question.
Specifically like drag.
Yeah,
but this is like playing
especially when you're making it to seem like funny. Like they're not trying to
shtick.
Yeah, exactly. Because none of these people looked like females. Like in the Wayans brothers did not look like
They barely looked human.
Well, I feel like
they
a lot of times
look like aliens.
Yeah,
they're like it's like aliens. Like what
they put it on like so pasty on them. They
so
look
white,
like aliens.
just so pasty
like
white,
caked on.
Yeah,
but yeah. So I mean, it's not like they're trying to like make them look beautiful too. So then it's kind of like another demeaning thing towards women. Then right? It's just like maybe not. I don't know.
Well, I guess too. I mean,
get a woman to play the role.
Yeah, I guess it's like that's
that's
exactly the thing.
Is this guy so good that he has to play a woman?
I mean, that's also a widespread issue. It's like gay actors playing gay roles instead of a straight actor.
That I don't know. I'm kind of because like that is kind of not like we're not supposed to outwardly see you being gay. Not saying you can't. I'm just saying it's not like it's like black. You can't get a white kid to play a black person. That visually, No,
but like I think it's like for an actor, like I think most actors want to embody a role and give an accurate portrayal of like what the character is going through in their emotional journey.
But then that defeats all actors. Not all actors do what they act.
No, and I'm saying there are certain things like you saw what is it, The Last of Us, Nick Offerman's character. But at the same time, there were I remember he had doubts like I am not gay, so should I be portraying this gay character, especially in this very emotional.
You're an actor, though. Pretend.
No, but then
when it's like a visual thing, like.
But there's other things like, I mean,
everyone's
on the Last of Us, there were gay writers, people on staff. This is versus like say, I guess you could say like for Juneteenth or Black History Month, like they get say for a marketing team like. If that's primarily white, non-black, just say like nobody's black on there to like pitch. How do we want to do these Juneteenth or Black History Month commercials or ad campaigns or something for like Target or whatever? Like, is it that it's not the same, but it has a similar sentiment, right?
No, I 100% agree with what you're saying, but where I'm coming from, it's like say the lead of a film is gay.
Okay,
so then what you're saying is take away all just great male actors, or if it was female actors, and now you have to lessen the scope of who you can choose because they can only actually be gay to play this part.
No, it's not saying that. Like there are choices, but I think before, let's say, it wasn't even an idea to get a gay actor to play a gay character. It was always a straight actor. So it's not
I get all that, but for me, it's not a visual thing. Like you don't see gay. Like that's what I'm saying.
Well, it's not. Actors aren't portraying visually things. Like, yeah, I get the skin color and stuff, but it's like to portray the emotion of a scene. Yeah, actors are actors, so they'll try as accurately as they want to do.
So if you're portraying a drug dealer, do you have to actually go sell drugs to be able to portray that? If you're an actor,
I mean, it might help.
Well, I mean, there's a movie out right now called American Fiction with Jeffrey Wright, I believe, and the premise is he's like he's a writer and. I think Issa Rae's on there too, and he writes books, but they're not very popular. And it is going exactly to what we were saying, and Katt Williams was talking about. And they're like, your books are good, but they're not popular. And he's like, we need to get a black book from you. And then he's like, I'm a writer and I make books and I'm black, so he's like, and then the editor's like, you know what I mean. And so it goes
on. Book.
Yeah, and it goes on. Then he puts on this like stereotypical kind of like offensive character, and he's like portraying like this writer who lived this experience. I mean, I think
that's the world though.
That looks like a good movie.
It looks really good too.
Yeah, just reading about it.
Because we had talked about that's the same thing with how Bobby Caldwell was trying to
great ratings,
put himself out there because his fan base was black. No one knew he was white. So
does it matter in any way, shape, or form that the roots of acting all started with men?
Does it matter?
Yeah, men used to always play women's roles back in the day.
Shakespeare and stuff.
Yeah, I'm talking about like I know I'm talking about like
I get where you're coming from.
Decades, but like it's not like this isn't a new thing. It's not like this hasn't happened before and stuff like that. And also like there's been a lot of people that like what it seems like is there's almost this sense of like because it's a movie, like anything can go. Like, oh, it's not a hit on you because you're wearing a dress because it's a movie. But if you did your stand up in a dress,
that's different.
That's different. Like we're making you. Netflix says, oh, you can only do the stand up if you're in a dress. That'd be like demeaning to me. I mean, I get it if you're only getting roles like that, or if the role like clearly has no need for it. But it does seem that like we've been doing it forever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's like it's definitely not anybody's place to say right or wrong, but I feel like it's only recently a question like that. Oh, like at least ask that question during production or casting.
Blackface was acceptable for a time too.
I mean, yeah. I mean, Al Jolson or whatever.
Yeah, he was like, they're doing that in Sweden right now.
Yeah,
they're literally doing blackface in Sweden on like an American Idol right now, like currently.
Swedish.
They
Idol.
dress up as whoever they want to karaoke. It's a karaoke show, and they'll perform and they'll paint themselves.
I think I saw that, and somebody was doing a Kendrick song, and he's like,
"This is currently going on."
I mean,
yeah, I don't know. It is what it is.
Well, because I think a lot of people are under the impression like, "Oh, racism's over."
That is burnt. That's right.
a lot of like European countries, primarily very,
or if I think it's somewhere over there.
A very distinct lack of melanation.
Yeah, but yeah, no, they definitely do that, and that's like the bit of the show is to like, yeah.